that $6.8 million did never come. And it was spent before deposited. It's simple math. $6 million, $6.1 million in checks sitting somewhere. $40,000 at Amazon. What a slap in the face to everybody that reside in 60419 zip code. We have been financially.
So again, there's a lot of information given to us in terms of all the financial issues, the financial information and the trends represented for the Village of Dolton under Mayor Tiffany Henyard. Lori Lightfoot had a PowerPoint presentation, painted a very concerning picture of financial mismanagement and unsustainable financial practices. That's what we're going to be talking about. Just from an outside looking in and seeing those slides. There were a lot of slides, actually. I didn't get all of them. I just got like some of the ones that I thought that were really important. So the biggest issue is Dolton is broke. They're in a financial trajectory to be completely broke.
Illinois funds are interest-bearing accounts that are managed by the Illinois Treasurer's Office that allow municipalities to earn interest on their excess cash balance. The balance in the Illinois funds account as of June 30th was only $3,900. As of April 30th, 2021, that balance was over $2 million.
The significant increases in the general expenditures, particularly in the liability insurance, the legal fees, the telephone expenses, is just raising all types of red flags. Shout out to Pocket Watching with JT. Red flag about the village financial discipline and what they think is a priority when in terms of dividing these resources. So the village general fund, let me see if I can, got some of these screenshots. Let me see. Okay, so this is the vendors situation. So just looking at this, right? As of May 31st, 2024, the fund is in a negative balance of 3.65 million. The village fund balance has shifted. It was a healthy surplus to a substantial deficit in just 2 years, reflecting a lack of financial or effective financial oversight.
The monthly financial reports include a summary of the unrestricted cash balances of the village each month. Within these summaries, the balance reflected already accounts for those held checks that Mayor Lightfoot was just discussing, checks that have been issued but haven't cleared because they haven't been sent yet to vendors. What you can see on the chart is that the unrestricted cash balance of the general fund has dropped from almost $5 million as of April of 2022, and it is now accounting for all of the checks that have yet to be sent, is now in a deficit position of over $5.5 million as of May of 2024.
This is what Henyard needs to answer. She needs to come out here with some kind of explanation on what is going on. They put the numbers out. She's going to say it's fake. Okay, explain this. Where is Lori Lightfoot going wrong with looking at the numbers from the investigations? There's a decline in the fund balance. There's just drastic reduction in cash reserves. It suggests that this village is spending far beyond its means. There is no financial discipline. They don't even have a dedicated financial department. They're relying on the external company for financial management, but it's compounding these concerns. And again, there is no accountability and transparency when it comes to financial reporting.
I'm just going to say what I've been saying for months and months and months. The bag been empty in 2022. The bag, it was never anything in the bag. And you still continue to say, they're lying, they're lying, they're lying. Here is proof.
And that's why we are where we are, at least with the village of Dolton concerned, that they're in such a deep, deep hole. Let's talk a little bit about Lacey real quick.
There was a deputy chief that was placed on administrative leave. He disregarded that and showed up the very next day. He then received a notice that he was terminated. And he despite being notified that he was terminated and in discussions with the Fraternal Order of Police, the FOP, he again showed up today. Once again, the mayor has changed the locks at the Village Hall.
So I got Lacey's stuff right here. Just making so much money. That's why this dude don't want to leave. Like, why would you want to leave? This guy's making $96,000. So the year didn't finish yet. He's making over $100,000 in overtime following the mayor around, despite being outside the collective bargaining unit. Because I'm assuming, you know, correct me if I'm wrong, when you are a supervisor, you're not in the union necessarily for collective bargaining like the rest of the employees or the police officers. So he just accruing significant overtime pay. I'm assuming basically because he's an intern or interim police chief, but is raising a lot of ethical and legal questions about the village compensation policies. Like, this is just a broader problem with the governance and the administration in Dolton, where public resources are definitely not managed in the best interest of the community. I mean, look at it. This guy is doing very, very well for himself. It's outrageous when you see, you know, how everything is just terrible in terms of the finances. So I'm still shocked about this. It's a financial crisis. Increasing expenditures, declining fund balances, potential unethical management practices. This situation demands immediate intervention. We'll see what happens with the FBI and their investigation. And they need to have many corrective actions from the trustees, possibly even higher authorities to prevent this from happening, to stop and prevent further fiscal disaster and try to restore some financial stability in Dolton. This is awful. I mean, look, homeboy Terry Young is cleaning up. This guy's making lawyer money. He's making doctor money, dentist money. I mean, he's an officer. I would like to know the salary of the New York City Commissioner. Hold on a second. I just want to look this up real quick. Give me a second. I'm going on my phone. Right. New York City Commissioner salary. How much the New York Commissioner makes? Let me see something here. My current New York City or NYPD Commissioner, Keishant Sewell, has a salary of $243,000. So Terry Young is almost at the NYPD Commissioner's salary. You know how many people in New York City? I don't even know. It's a lot. It's millions of people. And then William Reed, he's doing very, very well. Henyard has these police officers working around the clock for her because she thinks she's the president. So they're probably working. They're just there all the time while she travels around and she does her thing. It's outrageous that they're making around the same amount of money as an NYPD commissioner that runs one of the largest probably police departments in the country. This is really, really bad. Awful. Again, shout out to Jeff Bezos. They're just running up the bag is getting empty for an amount of money they're spending on Amazon. I don't know if it's the mic they're buying or the golden chair. Is it? I don't know. Is the trips? They got to buy outfits for the trips. Like what are they spending for a village of 20,000? They're spending almost 40 grand at Amazon. Wayfair is getting a good amount. Amazon is doing very, very well. Very, very well. That's why Jeff Bezos is a multi-billionaire. So that's where they're spending their money. 40 grand on Amazon. The police expenditures. So they're paying everyone overtime. That has been increased. The credit cards have been spent with a bunch of nonsense. Significant amounts, obviously, to Amazon and other retailers, potentially pointing to some frivolous or unaccounted for expenditures. So everything needs to be scrutinized, and a lack of complete set of credit card statements that definitely need to be further investigated because it can actually just look worse.
But what this means is that these credit card bills that are paid do not appear on warrant lists and are therefore not presented to the board for approval. Again, that will be a recommendation that we make, and the board is obviously aware of this issue, which is in part why they took the action that they took the other day to rein in the credit card spending.
So going back to the beginning, the increasing expenditures in the general administration, sharp fees for the liability, the legal fees. This is a systematic of administration that's going to basically to bankrupt this village. The village leadership, Mayor Henyard, appears to be making decisions to further exacerbate rather than alleviate the financial strain. And again, without immediate corrective action, Dolton might find themselves in even of a more precarious situation when they're already in. And I would like to see Mayor Henyard's response to all this. Explain all of these numbers. Are the numbers not accurate? Is Lawyer Lightfoot lying? Are the trustees lying? Let us know what is going on. That's it. Just let us know what is happening. She still runs the village. A lot of people have seen this. They have all these copies. And when they go to the next meeting, you can carry that copy, and Mayor Henyard has to explain all of this. Now, the village administrator, she doesn't want him to talk. She doesn't want him around. She fired him. But then she wanted a vote on it, but then she fired him anyway. That part still doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. Let me see if there's anything else that we could talk about briefly. So yeah, we already talked about it. Dolton is in trouble. The general fund is screwed up. Henyard is trying to control things, changing locks. She changed locks 3 times. How much? That's more Amazon money, probably paying for the lock or whatever. The threats to employees and public officials, or political officials, didn't have a lot of information, like details about that. But the biggest thing is the Deputy Lacey receiving a notice that he was terminated, that he was fired, even though, again, he was supposed to be on administrative leave, according to the private meeting they had at the board meeting. Then it turned into a public meeting because Henyard did not appreciate that. The vendors are not getting paid. Credit card receipts are rarely provided. Even they may not have enough money to pay the vendors. And again, going back to the meeting, they had to dip into the special revenue funds. Those funds should not be used for that. So that's where, I guess that's where the village is at this point. And he showed up after termination. But this is information that I received about Chief Lacey and how they tried to keep him working. So this is, and I've got this information from some of authority, at least information on exactly how Tiffany and Chief Lacey worked out this arrangement, this scheme to work around his layoff. So Henyard, or Lacey, moved his rank back down to Sergeant Commander, and the union agreed to let him back in. Then she appointed him back as interim chief. And this way he was able to keep his current salary and still collect that overtime that he's not supposed to be collecting. This is definitely not legal. It doesn't make any sense. It's manipulation of administrative procedures. If Henyard and Lacey worked out an arrangement for him to step down to a lower rank temporarily, then be appointed as interim chief, can be seen as attempt to circumvent the administrative leave decision. And such actions can violate the law, the village ordinances, or state laws governing public employment and administrative actions. He was placed on administrative leave. Then you can't go to the mayor and say, yeah, you know what happened here? Can you hook me up and give me back my job? I don't want to, I want to still collect this salary. I mean, at this point, when he was placed on administrative leave and then he decided to show up the next day and continue to work, and then show today to continue to work, and then expect a paycheck whenever he gets paid, Friday or next week. I don't know how it works, but I guess every 2 weeks. That's basically wage theft. If he's allowed to collect his full salary and overtime in a way that is not permitted for his original position, it sounds like wage theft to me. I mean, let me know what you guys think. Sounds like it. You're not supposed to be working right now. I'm assuming this is going to probably go back into the courts. At this point, it's possible that the sheriffs, a higher authority, can prevent him. They may have to bring him in. We'll see exactly what happens. But right now, he should not be working at all in any official capacity as a police officer. Not even talking necessarily about the whole police chief stuff. As a police officer, he should not have a badge, he should have a gun, he should not be conducting any kind of police work. He should not be contacting anyone as a police officer of Dolton. We'll see exactly how that turns out, but that was the scheme that Henyard and Lacey tried to put together for him to continue to work, to basically try to step down a lower rank. And then as a lower rank, she could put the temporary tag police chief on him so he could continue to come in and make his really nice salary. Let's pop up all that money he's making as overtime. So this is the balance, right? Like, so he's acting chief, but then so he's not really a chief. So I guess that's when he can continue to make this overtime. And there, just so through July of this year, he already clocked in about another 12 G's in there. So no wonder he tries his best to protect Henyard at all costs. There's no way he'll ever make that kind of money anywhere else. So he's going to go down with the ship. Please, if you have a chance, especially if you live in Dolton, download that deck, get that information, and contact your administration. Contact the people running it and saying, oh, what's going on here? Why? What was spent on Amazon? Wayfair? Okay. Why we spend that much money on that? Why at one point the general fund was in a surplus, now is not? Because as the supervisor of the township, she likes to boast that when I came into the township, we were at a deficit. Now we're in a surplus. Notice that she doesn't talk about that in the Dolton meeting. She doesn't brag about how much money they're in a surplus. A lot of times she don't even talk about the money. Usually she talks about the money, she deflects, she'll throw an insult there. She'll say, you want to talk about it because your issues, or this is politics, or I'm a black woman in power. Why are you after me? Why are you trying to stop me? blah, 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 blah. You know, the usual delay tactics, but not really answering the real questions or not providing enough information, exploited the police department by continuing using them as 24-hour security for a person in such a small village, so she can walk around with the image of being very important. So being because she wanted to be, I think she wanted to be more than just this man. She wants to be the president. She wants that image. So how you have that image, the president has 24-hour detail, security detail. She wanted to have that. And police officers were collecting. So we'll see exactly what's going on here.